Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to this NS9 emergency podcast. I'm your host, Anthony DiNardo. With me, of course, we have Ty. Tyler, what's up, my man?
Hey, the Pirates did something today. We get to talk about a little bit of off-season baseball. Lots of opinions will be had.
Lots of opinions. Hey, though, like you said, we can't complain too much. I made my little PSA on Monday morning. It's a personal thing, but my personal problem is there's been nothing to talk about this offseason outside of Horowitz, Kutch coming back, who we knew was going to happen, and then the Caleb Ferguson signing. Like, we've been talking about the same thing over and over and over again. And Ben Cherington said, you know what? Fine. I'll see you. Here's 3 people. So I guess to open this up, just to say, last night, the Pirates signed 2 lefty relievers, Tim Mayza and Ryan Borucki. And then this morning, said we're not done. Bring it back, old friend, Adam Frazier back. So 3 people to talk about in this emergency podcast tonight.
And I think they just broke over $3 million between the 3 of them.
Just a bit.
Oh, good Lord. But hey.
Yeah. So how about this? Before we go further, let us let you know, BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your #1 source for online betting in 2025. Whether you're a seasoned fan or a first-time bettor, BetOnline is your ultimate game day companion with the largest selection of odds on everything from football, the NBA, college basketball, to NHL and UFC. BetOnline is your #1 sports betting source for the new year. Every touchdown to three-pointer and hat trick, BetOnline has you covered with odds, stats, and more for every game, every play, every win. BetOnline, the game starts here. So, Tyler, where do you want to start first in this conglomerate of signings?
I feel like we have to start with, and it's sad that I have to say this is big news, right? I feel like we have to start with Adam Frazier because it's freshest on everyone's mind. He's former Pirate. It's close to the biggest splash this offseason, man.
He's the 3rd largest signing. Kutch at 5, Caleb Ferguson at 3, and Adam Frazier signs for precisely 1.515 million, I think it was.
Yeah.
So there's that. Shout out to Penn. Hey, Adam Frazier giving benefits everywhere. Shout out to Penn for the $2. Appreciate it. He says Adam Frazier in right field will make Pirates great again.
Yeah, so I guess let's just start here with Adam Frazier.
Yeah.
I don't want to say anything negative about the guy. I really do enjoy him, and I did enjoy him as a Pirate. You got a lot more out of Adam Frazier than you probably ever thought you would. And Adam Frazier's done a heck of a job of becoming a really solid major leaguer over a pretty significant period of time. Adam Frazier's also 32 years old. He's coming off his worst season in a very, very long time with Kansas City. He's 32 years old.
Worst season ever.
Right. He's 32. Adam Frazier's not one of the guys. I think we can agree here. Adam Frazier is not someone with elite athleticism. He's not someone that he can lose a step here and there. The bat speed was adequate before, and really he got by on the bat-to-ball skills. He learned to be a pretty good defender a lot of places. And again, he turned himself into a darn good major leaguer, a productive major leaguer. Very much enjoyed having him. I don't want to have him now. This feels like the move that you make back in 2020 whenever you're rebuilding and you want to get a veteran presence in here. I would venture to guess that there's not a single other major league organization. Well, the White Sox might. Maybe 1 or 2 other teams that would offer Adam Frazier a major league deal at this point in his career. He's not a major leaguer anymore. He showed it last year. The bat speed now is below average. Bat-to-ball skills can't save you. Defense has fallen off. He doesn't belong on a major league team anymore. And you can shake your head at that, but I don't think he belongs on a major league team. I think it's more appropriate. That's fair, but I think it's more appropriate to just give him a minor league invite or give him an invite to spring training. if you really want someone like an Adam Frazier, and there's a lot more we can flesh out with this entire thing, but I don't like this move whatsoever. And it's 1.5 million. What is there much to complain about? It's not much money. It's just not a good move, and it's not making you better. This move does not make the Pirates better in 2025.
Yeah, I mean, overall, that's probably a good way of putting it. I disagree about him being a major leaguer. I think the fact of his versatility benefits. Like you mentioned, like good bat the ball skills. The strikeouts did creep up last year. I mean, this is the guy who just doesn't strike out, doesn't hit the ball hard. We saw Adam Frazier quite a bit. And yes, he can hit David. But to be honest, there was a lot of weak grounders to second base, and you would get out at first, and you get that, right? Doesn't hit the ball very hard, but he makes contact quite a bit. You know, his career 13.6% K rate. But last year, it crept up to over 20% for the first time ever. Like you mentioned here, his worst year he ever had. He's coming off last year. But overall, I mean, he was 0.4 WAR, Baltimore, 1.3 with Seattle. This goes Fangraphs. And of course, yeah, the All-Star year before that. Like, I think he belongs on an MLB team. I just don't know if he belongs on this MLB team. And the reason I say that, my thing about him is he doesn't have much of a ceiling. But his floor is pretty limited as well. You know, you can say, like, at least he stabilizes. But I'm not sure if he really does that, you know, for this team. And the way I look at it is you have IKF at short. Like, that's the shortstop going into this year. Outside of Cruz, who's now a center fielder, who do you have that's a shortstop on this team? Alika Williams, like the short's glove. Peguero, maybe Nick Gonzalez, but Nick Gonzalez is your second baseman. So, and then outside of that, you have Jared Triolo, who also has fantastic defense, plays all around. You have Nick York, who also really good bat to ball skills. We don't know what he is as a player yet, still like a prospect we're talking about. But like, I believe in the upside and even the floors on those two compared to Adam Frazier. Right. So like, when I look at Adam Frazier's team, I would much rather roll with the Nick York and see what he has because of the upside that's presented, right? I would much rather roll with Jared Triolo because even Jared Triolo, the upside he presents, you know, I don't think he's as bad as he's shown like last year. I don't think he's as good as he ended the last two seasons. You know, I think it's somewhere in the middle, and that in the middle is probably better than what Adam Frazier gives you. You know, so like, I don't know if this fit really works unless there's something else either brewing or a concern about.
Yeah, I will disagree with you that I don't think he's a major leaguer anymore. I think the bat to ball skills are gone. The strikeout rate creeping up to the point it did. I looked at Baseball Savant earlier. The bat speed is well below average now.
Mm-hmm.
He's Adam Frazier now, man. He's 32. He was never an elite athlete. But aside from that, throw all that out the window, and let's just say that this is an Adam Frazier that's just average everywhere else, and you can see some improvement here where he could become back to maybe like a productive utility type of guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you look at the way this team is built, and this is where you were just speaking of the roster construction and the fit of Adam Frazier, where does he really fit here? Because you have IKF, who plays a below average shortstop. Your next backup shortstop there is an Alika Williams or a Jared Triolo, who Alika Williams can pick it there, but he can't hit worth a lick. And then you have Jared Triolo, who is, again, a below average shortstop. So now you have Nick Gonzalez, Nick York, Adam Frazier, Jared Triolo, Brian Hayes. Those are five guys that I think you would assume four of them will probably make it to opening day, and none of them can hit a baseball. None of them.
Right.
They can't hit. And we just brought in another.
More to the problem. Like you said, it doesn't make the team better. And that's a very valid point. Like that's part of the issue here. Like this isn't an improvement. It's just, let's just add more of the issues we have and hope maybe one of them turns out. But again, I don't think I'm not the team that's signing Adam Frazier because I'm expecting a bounce back, because I'm not quite sure what the bounce back even is, you know, but But again, like I'm maybe signing him because like he is a veteran. He plays all around, and I might need some of that utility. But again, for this team, you have a Jared Triolo. You have a Nick York. Like they give you that, but they also provide you with much more upside than what Adam Frazier does. So like, don't you want to roll into the season with a person? And again, like Frazier's defense, that's something I gave him credit for back then. Like he was always knocked for his second base defense, right? But he turned into a pretty solid outfielder and all around. His defense at second base has been pretty solid also. So like he presents solid defense all around, but isn't Jared Triolo much better? Don't you think Nick York's probably at least adequate to what Frazier is? And then when you look at the bat, even as low as Jared Triolo is, like I feel like there's still something there with him where Adam Frazier's on the decline. And like he might not be as bad as he was last year, but again, he's coming off of an 82 weighted runs created plus, 93, and then 63 last year. Like he's had a career 95 weighted runs created plus. Like we know about the ball skills. He hits, he makes contact, but he's been a well below average hitter since the All-Star year when he was traded. And I just feel like I'm more confident that Jared Triolo can have a better bat. And if things really click for Jared Triolo, like he can be that guy that we thought he could be. And Nick York, like he's Adam Frazier, but he's not 32.
Yeah. I mean, again, 32 is like a spring chicken. Like you're in your best shape of your
life. I understand.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like
the early stages of when it really begins.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying, like some 32-year-olds can still take Kyle Hendrick deep. Not all.
Most
is one in the room with me right now? Yes, but I'm only 31. Anywho, back to what you said about him. You mentioned the upside there, and that's a big concern too. Like there is no upside with him. At best, you get a 10% below average hitter with probably below average defense, playing a position where you need more offense.
Yeah.
The other issue I have though, and I'd like to hear your opinion on it, but I still feel like there are other options out there that present a lot more upside with similar type of risk as Adam Frazier because it's a low risk move. But you look at maybe a Jorge Polanco coming off a knee injury. There's, I'd say, a lot more there. Look at a Yoan Moncada. Probably a little more pricey, but there's still something in there.
There's
Adam
upside.
Frazier, right. Yeah, I think you look at Adam Frazier, you don't see that upside.
So the other thing about this, though, is like you're saying there's other options, and I agree to that. But again, like it takes two to tango. Like, is this the right fit for Moncada to regain his form? Probably not. Jorge Polanco? Probably not. But also, why is that, Tyler? Because where's the fit? like again, like this doesn't really make that much sense to be signing an Adam Frazier unless, and like Jim hinted to this, but it's a fear we've talked about. Is there a real worry about Brian Hayes' back? Is there, and again, this is a whole nother conspiracy theory type thing, but like, is IKF on the table? Like, is the thought, you know what? Let's roll Nick Gonzalez at shortstop. Let's trade IKF, get something back. Let's roll. Again, like I'm not saying this is a good move, whatever, but like to me, this trade kind of represents more of there's something else because right now, as things stand, as this roster is constructed, this move doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But if your middle infielder is Nick Gonzalez and Nick York, well, now there's probably a need, or it's Jared Triolo. Again, however you want to toss it up. Like, well, now when the IKF is gone, or you're kind of worried about Brian Hayes' back or whatever it might be, like, okay, now this makes sense because it's more of like that insurance move. It's no risk, right? But now he's like your third utility guy because Triolo has to start, or York has to start or whatever it might be.
Yeah, I think I, at least myself, definitely had that thought process go through my brain of there has to be another move coming because it just doesn't make sense to have this many guys that are utility type roles that really are second baseman.
That aren't even utility.
Right. So unfortunately, it does seem like it's either like Jim alluded to in his tweet about maybe Cabrian's back is a problem, a major problem. And Trill is going to have to play a lot of third base, and that's going to take him away from other spots. But, dude, you just acquired every fringe second baseman / outfielder / shortstop known to man. All those fringe guys that have ever existed, the Pirates have employed at some point over the last 6 years. They just went back to the original one.
Yeah.
Way after he was good.
But again, and this isn't to go off on this tangent, but it is kind of disappointing that it's like you're this deep into this rebuild. You've acquired how many middle infielders, whether it be through the draft, trade, however, it might be. I mean, that's the one thing we've talked about with Ben Cherington and the guys up the middle, which is fine. It's a fine strategy. But you've acquired so many, and here you are acquiring an Adam Frazier to help out your major league team.
Right.
This doesn't make the team better. Yeah. For this offseason to be the offseason of, okay, it's time. It's 2025 Adam Frazier.
Yeah. And I think we can both agree that the frustrating part is that it's not going after any upside. Again, you're avoiding the upside of anyone else. You're going a safe route. Adam Frazier is safe. You're going to get, well, God, you're not going to get good production, plain and simple. You're not. But at best, I think there's a more likely situation where Adam Frazier is just close to an average player. A lot of the other options, there's a shot that they're just atrocious.
Yeah.
But those other guys that might be atrocious also have some sort of talent that could be tapped into. Adam Frazier's talent that could be tapped into has already been tapped into. We're done with it. It's tapped out.
You're basically saying like if Adam Frazier clicks, if things go well, he's probably a half war player, at best, at the very, very best. But things go right for Nick York. He's Adam Frazier. Adam Frazier was a 0.9, 1.9, 2.6, 0.7, 3.3. Again, that was Adam Frazier back in his prime. Well, Nick York's entering his prime. So if things click for him, he's an everyday player. If things click for Adam Frazier right now, he's probably a backup utility guy at best. And that's what you're signing for. So, but again, you already have those guys on this team. That's why I'm a bit perplexed on this move, because I don't really understand it the way this roster is constructed as of today. You already have utility guys that have, and again, they're younger. You traded for you brought in Nick York to do this job this year. So then to bring in Adam Frazier on top of it, it's well, why? I don't know. I don't know. Well, let things play out. My whole thing about this offseason, this point in time, is all we can do is let things play out, right? I don't agree with a lot of things that are happening this offseason. I don't really quite understand things. I don't see themselves setting them up for that success to certainly be good for this year. We'll let them play it on the field. But again, if we're talking about, if it's October 3rd or whatever the actual game is, maybe October 1st this year, I forget. I think it's maybe September, but whatever, right? The very last game of the year, we're talking about this team not being a playoff game. It comes back to this. It comes back to these type of moves. Why were you getting Adam Frazier? Why were you not getting out things to actually improve the team? That's my worry. So, yeah, Adam Frazier's back with the Pirates, and I'm here for the memes. You best believe when he hits, that's going out there. He can hit, David, right? I'm absolutely going to be celebrating Adam Frazier when he was there and getting a hit, but I don't think he makes this team better, and I don't understand the logic of adding Adam Frazier to the 2025 Pirates at this point in time.
I'd be less worried if we weren't a month from spring training. We're less than a month from spring training. We're getting to the point where it's
the third highest free agent signing so far.
Yeah, we're getting to the point where it's starting to get a little worrisome. We're running out of time here, guys.
Right. Okay. Well, that's Adam Frazier. Is there anything else that you wanted to add to that?
No, we're going to have a deep dive on him probably tomorrow again. So
yeah,
let's not wear it all out tonight.
Sure. Okay, so then the Pirates last night, now at that point in time last night, he was the third highest free agent signing of the offseason. So Tim Mayza signs with the Pirates. Lefty reliever. Caleb Ferguson signed, the second highest free agent signing of the year, $3 million. Caleb Ferguson signed a few weeks ago. And I liked the move. We talked about that. We didn't have an emergency podcast for him, but we did talk about it a bit. And again, I liked it. I think he could reclaim his form. I think he could be a productive lefty. It's not the ceiling that like Aroldis Chapman presents, but he could be a staple in his bullpen. At the end of the year, you're saying, hey, Caleb Ferguson's pretty good. Maybe we should re-sign him for next year. I think he could be that. Tim Mayza signs, lefty reliever, was with the Blue Jays organization, mind you. Shocking. Not a good year last year. Again, Caleb Ferguson, not that great of a year. Tim Mayza had a really, really good 2023, though. I mean, it was fantastic. Actually, let me put this up here again to kind of show. Tim Mayza's 2023 left-hand column, baseball savant. You're a red circle, blue circle type of guy. A lot of red circles, right? Right-hand side was 2024. Not that many red circles, quite a bit of blue circles, right? So he had a very, very bad 2024. But again, mind you, a very, very good, productive 2023. When I saw this signing, it was kind of like whatever. And that's still how I feel about it. And I'll give you, your second here to talk. But it's like, I kind of felt like after Caleb Ferguson, he's going to be the lefty. He's going to be the guy. And after that, that's why I tweeted this at that point in time. I'm expecting more Tim Mayza type of signings, maybe not major league level, but like the next guy we'll talk about, Ryan Borucki, right? Just some guys to throw at the wall. You got Caleb Ferguson. That's the guy you kind of more or less believe in. Now you're going to get some other guys that maybe have something interesting to them, but certainly they're warts. And that's what Tim presents here.
So if I'm spending $1 million on a Major League Baseball player, I would prefer to do it in this manner than the way they did with Adam Frazier, because you said the limited ceiling there, and it is limited, but it's still a good relief pitcher is what Tim Mayza's ceiling is, in my opinion, at least. Adam Frazier, on the other hand, and I'm just going back to him real quick, we know what the upside is there. It's very, very limited. Mayza, like you look at his 24, he really, really struggled with righties. 23 handled them relatively well. He still gets lefties out of a decent enough clip. The sinker dropped off with velocity, probably almost a tick. Another thing I noticed just looking into him, he faced more righties, or he faced more lefties in 2023. So matchup wise, I think previously he was handled a lot better than he was the next year, where it's more 50-50. There are things you can do with him. There's definitely concerns with him, but I think it's a decent upside type of guy if you use him correctly. It's a lefty reliever that still a 2-pitch guy. Location looked like it was just bad last year. Velocity down a little bit, but not like a ton. I'm okay with it. $1 million for him, at least I feel like there's some sort of scenario where I could look at this guy in August and go, that was a good signing. I can't see that in the other one.
With Frazier? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's where I get on this. I know there's probably a lot of people who are like, here we go, dumpster diving. And I mean, it is what it is. It's $1 million signing. Like the guy was worth $1 million. So sure. But also understanding that they got Caleb Ferguson. You weren't going to get Aroldis Chapman again or someone of that caliber. You're not getting a Tanner Scott. Like that's going to be our version of those type of players, right? Caleb Ferguson. So after that, you're probably going to get some more of these guys. And again, like we keep kind of saying, and it's true, if there's one thing to give this organization credit for, they've been able to identify some pitching lately and make the most of it, typically, right? And a lot of things that you see is that type of pitcher will have a slider and probably a sinker, and that's what he has. Now, the sinker was fantastic in 2023, a lethal pitch. And just like you said, in 2024, the complete opposite. It was pounded. It was horrible. And yes, he's lost some velocity. But again, it's not that far removed from being really, really good. And him as a pitcher, I mean, he was like a 2-WAR pitcher in 2023 as a reliever. And then he was DFA'd last year, picked up by the Yankees. That's another thing too. Like in Toronto, very, very bad. DFA'd. Yankees pick him up. Still wasn't missing bats, but the numbers performed better. Like a 4 ERA. I think it was 18 innings the rest of the year. So like, I mean, serviceable. You know, like if he is a 4 WAR, if he's a 4 ERA pitcher right now for this team, like, okay, that's not bad. So again, with the signing, $1 million, it's low risk. It's another guy to put out there. You got the Caleb Ferguson. He's there. He presents some things that are interesting. They can gain any resemblance of that form of 2023, right? Then you have another lefty that's competent in your bullpen, and that's what this team needs. So I don't have an issue with this. It is what it is. He was very, very bad last year. Don't get me wrong. He was awful last year. But on the contrast, he was very, very good in 2023. So maybe you take a little bit in the middle here and we'll find out. But again, I just expect more of these type of moves. And again, they'll probably be minor leaguers, but more of these type of moves coming. It's like a plethora of lefty relievers, and we'll see what else is out there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with it. It's fine. It's $1 million
Right.
for a reliever. A reliever. Again, I want to just hammer that part. It's a reliever. I don't have him wasting a spot on the bench.
Nope. $1.15 million. So we saw this news last night. Again, is what it is. I made my little spiel on Twitter about it. And then there was a tweet by, I think it was John Heyman. But it was a tweet that instantly Ryan Borucki signed to the Twins. $1.15 million deal. And I was like, no, not King Borucki. That's this deal. Like, I would rather have Borucki than this guy, I think, you know, and it's the same price point. You let the Twins get him. And then he comes back like 5 minutes later. He's like, oh, correction, Pirates. So at that point, I was like, okay, let's kind of justify everything I just said. I expect these type of deals. And then boom, right away, there's another one, right? Ryan Borucki, $1.15 million. It's a minor league deal, but he's going to invite the spring, makes the majors. It's a $1.15 million deal with some incentives, I believe. So again, Ryan Borucki, we saw that turnaround. Like what we're talking about, why this could be a good signing. It's because of Ryan Borucki's of the world. When Ryan Borucki came for the Chicago Cubs, he was awful, absolutely awful. You know, and that was in the minor leagues too. He was awful. I was very, very colorful in saying that he was awful on Twitter, and they did what they did Ryan Borucki and turned him to a very competent pitcher. And last year was injured, so we didn't get to see the part 2 of that story. So like picking up on a minor league deal, knowing what he did do with the Pirates and what they were able to get out of him, I like it. Like just zero risk.
Yeah, I mean, I feel bad for you because you were so anti-Borucki. I
know,
doubted
Tyler.
our
I should
king.
have been like you.
I never doubted our king, ever.
Never.
So I'm very happy to see our king home. In all reality, it's a good move. I mean, you're familiar with him. There were points last year I feel like he looked like some shades of what we saw the previous year, because there were points where the dude was unhittable.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, I was out there cheering for him and telling everyone I was right. I told you all, why don't you ever believe me? Finally, everyone did. And then, he had a rough year. So naturally, I'm still here standing right next to my king on the throne. Very excited to have him home. Ryan Borucki, welcome back.
Love it. But yeah, absolutely. Again, it's a no risk. It's a minor league deal. I felt this was inevitable, not to like the Kutch level, but it was like, this just makes so much sense that he's going to return to the Pirates on a minor league deal. So like I said, when I first saw that the Twins did it, it's just like, God, really? So when I saw that correction, I was like, yes, thank you. Thank God. And again, this isn't something I get overly excited about in real life, kind of like the Adam Frazier point of view. Like it's just somehow or another, the legend of King Borucki has grown, especially in the NS9 community. And yeah, so he returns. So we're talking about a minor league deal, but the guy's back, which also means for those people who have their NS9 memberships on YouTube. And again, if you want to, 99 cents gives you NS9 membership on YouTube. We greatly appreciate those who already have it. But that allows you to use emojis. And I can promise you, since he's back, the King Borucki emoji will return. So you'll be able to use them on YouTube going forward.
The King's home, baby.
The King is home.
There is nobody happier than me.
No, nobody. Definitely not, Ryan Borucki himself.
No. Well, no, he probably hoped to have a major league deal, but
he's going to get it. I'm confident. He's going to come in spring. He's going to show us stuff. We're going to have video clips as we're down there from February 22nd to March 1st. We'll have all your King Borucki clips.
I might have a crown.
And there it is. There's Mark, newest member. Appreciate it, Mark. King Borucki returns.
I should just walk in with a crown on and a what do you call those things? You walk around
staff.
With? Yeah. Me and my boy King Borucki.
There it is.
Ride or die. Ride or die.
But yeah, overall, the two relievers, they're fine.
Yeah,
it is what it is. And I would probably expect a couple more of the Ryan Borucki routes. But yeah, just back to the Adam Frazier one. I don't know. I'm not vibing with it. So I just feel like there's more to come in some manner that you're going to get that moment and say, now that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, there are a few weeks left. A lot of things can happen, and we'll talk about it a lot more tomorrow.
Scepter. I knew there was I said scalpel or something. I was like, I knew it's.
No, you said staff.
Well, at first I said staff.
I think a staff is for magicians.
But I was like, I know there's an actual professional name.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the staff is a magician thing because I used that on RuneScape back in the day. But anyhow,
there it is.
I don't know, man. I don't really want a guy like Adam Frazier on my team. The talent's just not there anymore. Maybe it'll surprise us, but as of now, it's not very enticing.
Right. Cool. Well, it's been 32 minutes. Same age as Adam Frazier.
Yeah.
Does that mean it's time to go?
Yeah, we'll dive into it again.
Yeah. We'll be back tomorrow night, NS9 Live. You, myself, and Jim.
Jim should be there. Yeah.
Right.
I think so.
I always forget. It's the time of year he just never shows up for work.
True.
Yeah. So I guess it will be the three of us tomorrow. We'll all get to talk about this some more and the more signings that Ben blesses us with, right?
Never know what'll happen overnight.
Or the bad news of why Adam Frazier was signed.
I swear to God, if they sign someone in like 5 minutes, then we have to jump back on.
Something tells me the category of the player they're going to sign if they do that in 5 minutes is not worthy of jumping back on. So the only reason we did tonight is because there's 3.
Yeah, fair enough.
All right. Well, then let's get out of here.
Yep.
Everyone, as always, we appreciate you hopping on, showing us some love here as well. Penn, Mark, shout out to you both. We'll be back tomorrow night, 9 p.m. and it's not live, so tune back in. We'll see you then. Other than that, bye-bye.
Peace out, Scouts.
All right, that wraps up this episode of North Shore 9. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whether you're listening on the podcast or catching us on YouTube, if you enjoyed the show, please give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It really helps us grow. And if you're listening on the podcast, a quick review goes a long way in helping others find the show. Plus, be sure to tell a friend about us. There's always room for more here in the NS9 community. And for those looking to support us a little more, consider joining our Patreon, become an MVP member, and get exclusive perks while helping us continue to bring you more of the Pirates content you love. Thanks again for all your support, and let's go Bucks.